Day 740, Thursday, November 20th. Matthew 2:1-15, NKJV. Now after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him. When Herod the king heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. So they said to him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are not the least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you shall come a ruler, who will shepherd my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had secretly called the wise men, determined from them what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go and search carefully for the young child, and when you have found him, bring back word to me, that I may come and worship him also. When they heard the king, they departed. And behold, the star which they had seen in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. And when they had come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented gifts to him, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Then, being divinely warned in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed for their own country another way. Now when they had departed, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, take the young child and his mother, flee to Egypt, and stay there until I bring you word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed for Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the Lord through the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt I called my son. Daily Deep Dive, verse 1. We covered Herod the Great last Friday. We don't know much about these wise men, and commentaries are a bit all over the place. Thayer's Dictionary's first definition of this word Magus mu alpha gamma omicrons states, the name given by the Babylonians, Chaldeans, Medes, Persians, and others, to the wise men, teachers, priests, physicians, astrologers, seers, interpreters of dreams, augurs, soothsayers, sorcerers, etc. We see in the book of Daniel that he was well educated and grouped in with their wise men who covered a range of material, including interpreting dreams, but who also served as advisors to the king. These are typically thought to be men of science, astrology, medicine, etc., and advisors to kings. These men were likely from the Babylon area, as that's what is east of Jerusalem. Some speculate that these men were Jewish, as Judah had been previously exiled in Babylon. While Babylon had fallen centuries before, the city of Babylon was still wealthy and well known at this time. Verse 2, again, commentary speculation is a bit all over the place with this. Matthew doesn't elaborate. Adam Clarke's commentary states, having discovered an unusual luminous appearance or meteor in the heavens, supposing these persons to have been Jews, and knowing the prophecies relative to the redemption of Israel, they probably considered this to be the star mentioned by Balaam, Numbers 2:4-17. End quote. There's also the possibility, using the symbolism of the book of Revelation, that this star is a representation of an angel that moves and stands over the place where Jesus is located. Verse 3. Herod was known to be very paranoid about being overthrown or assassinated, and had murdered family members, out of fear of losing his position. We see him here troubled. To the east of Herod, who was a vassal king of Judea within the Roman Empire, was the Parthian Empire, an area that makes up modern Iran and Iraq. These wise men were likely from somewhere in this Parthian Empire. They had come to worship a child born king of the Jews. The two empires, Roman and Parthian, had battled several times before, with Rome suffering substantial losses. Especially considering they were carrying expensive gifts, these wise men would have likely traveled in a large caravan, which would include many people and armed protection against bandits. Herod was troubled, and with his reputation of paranoia, everyone else was likely troubled too. We understand that within Judea, there was an expectation that the Messiah would come soon, and with that a new king. Herod and his advisors were aware of this too. Verse 5, Micah 5:2, prophesied that the one who would be the ruler of Israel would come from Bethlehem. Verse 11, after the birth they were now in the house, and not with the animals. The wise men present gifts that were symbolic, gold, usually a gift for kings, royalty. In John 18:37, Pilate asked Jesus, Are you a king then? Jesus answered, You say rightly that I am a king, for this cause I was born, and for this cause I have come into the world. Frankincense was associated with offerings to God. In Leviticus 2, it was a part of the grain offering. In Exodus 34:38, it was a part of the unique blend for the incense symbolic of our prayers in Revelation 5:8-3-4. It was a symbol of pleasing, willing worship, and therefore it wasn't to be on a sin offering, compare Leviticus 5:11, We know from already reading John 1 that the Word was both with God and was God, and that the Word became flesh, Jesus Christ. In addition to his divinity, it also foreshadowed his role as our high priest, as frankincense was deeply connected to the priest's roles. Compare Leviticus 24:7. Myrrh. This was a bitter aromatic resin or gum. It was turned into costly perfume, and due to its antiseptic qualities it was used for embalming Thayers. Myrrh's bitterness, the root of the Hebrew word for myrrh means bitter, gives it a strong association with pain, hardship, and sacrifice. In John 19:39-40, Nicodemus brings myrrh to prepare Jesus for burial. This helped to preserve the body and mask the smell of decay. This gift seems to be associated with Christ's suffering, sacrifice, and death. I want to also note that Jesus was worshipped, as he is throughout the Bible. Compare Matthew 14:33-28, 9:17, John 9:38, Revelation 5:13. He is worthy of worship, and it is appropriate. Verse 12. Remember, they were told by Herod to find the child and bring back word to Herod. Verse 8. But God intervenes to keep this from happening. Additionally, we should imagine how much more anxious, paranoid this would have made Herod that these individuals from another land who came to worship the King of the Jews now disregarded his command and have left. Verse 15. The prophecy of Jesus being called out of Egypt is found in Hosea 11:1.